Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to tell you how the President of the United States doubled down, announcing his support for the Problem Solvers Caucus bipartisan bill that calls for a second and potentially third round of stimulus checks, $450 to $600 a week enhanced unemployment insurance payments, and $50 billion for the economic injury disaster loan after we called the chairman of the Problem Solvers Caucus demanding that they included funding for S.4227 or the full disbursement of the $10,000 economic injury disaster loan grant to all legitimate small business applicants. When reporters asked President Donald Trump in regards to the next disaster relief package, they asked him whether he liked what the Problem Solvers Caucus was proposing. He stated that he liked the idea, that he is in agreement with the larger amount. He wants to ensure that people get money. He stated that some GOP lawmakers may disagree with the provisions in the Problem Solvers Caucus bill. Nonetheless, he is strongly convinced that he can convince them to agree to these provisions and ultimately get closer to signing a deal. Again, he explicitly stated that he wants people to get money. He then applauded Nancy Pelosi's statement yesterday on CNBC that her and her members would stay in Washington until they signed the next disaster relief package, the next round of stimulus. Although that is a symbolic statement because Democrat lawmakers will return to their districts in order to campaign for election season. Nonetheless, they'll be on 24-hour notice. So if Democrats, Trump administration, and GOP lawmakers are on the verge of inking a deal, then they have to return to Washington within 24 hours time in order to get a deal signed, ladies and gentlemen. He broke down the membership of the Problem Solvers Caucus. He said that most of them are dead center. Some of them lean to the left. Some of them lean to the right. Nonetheless, he thinks that they are good people. And again, he stated that he liked the idea. When a reporter asked him, would he explicitly endorse the bill that the Problem Solvers Caucus released yesterday, again, calling for the second and potentially third round of stimulus and $50 billion for the economic injury disaster loan program, after we called on the chairman to let them know that, listen, you have to package funding for S.4227 or the SBA's full disbursement of the $10,000 economic injury disaster loan grant for all legitimate small business applicants. And yes, I'm emphasizing EIDL because it needs to be emphasized because the president doesn't know about it or he doesn't mention it enough, knowingly or unknowingly. He stated that he would not explicitly endorse the bill. Nonetheless, he likes what the bill has in it, and he does disagree with a few things, but he is confident that these things can be negotiated, and we are getting closer to reaching a deal in order to make a deal on all sides of the negotiation table for the next round of stimulus, ladies and gentlemen. As I've reported in the past several times, the president has failed to mention the progress and the success of the economic injury disaster loan grant program. So what we need to do today, wow, he's talking about that he's willing to meet them at $1.5 trillion. White House staff has said it, and he agrees with the larger amount. He's explicitly stated that during his press briefing today at the White House. He agrees with the $1.5 trillion top line cost for the next round of stimulus. And then he actually closed his statements in regards to disaster relief by stating that he wants to get a lot of money to people who have been hurt. And who's been hurt the most? The American people who make lower wages, small business owners, ladies and gentlemen, who with 31.7 million small businesses, we constitute 99.9% of businesses in the United States, employing 60.6 million U.S. workers, half of the U.S. workforce, ladies and gentlemen. So if for some reason he's ignoring that fact and he doesn't mention the economic injury disaster loan advance program for whatever reason, we've covered several reasons in the past why he potentially hasn't done that, because it got capped at 150, and this is in his administration. The grant got capped at $1,000 per employee, and his employee, SBA Administrator Javita Carranza, she did that, and she wouldn't do that without him signing off on ensuring that. And also, I'm not even solely talking about what the administration did. Maryland Senator ranking member of the U.S. Senate Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship. He engineered, him together with Florida Senator Marco Rubio, chairman of the U.S. Senate Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship, together engineered, and they structured the language to give the Small Business Administration the discretion to cap economic injury disaster loan grants at $1,000 per employee as opposed to $10,000, because he just said may. People may request. He never stated that the administrator had to, that shall disperse $10,000 in economic injury disaster loan grant funding, ladies and gentlemen. And I cover that in depth, and I show you the proof through the congressional records and all the communication, the correspondence, and all the district court orders that have found that Congress, together with the administration, worked together in order to cap it. So we have to let him know right now that he has to put it further out into the mainstream, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Grant Program, ladies and gentlemen, by going ahead and tweeting him. You can reach him at twitter.com/RealDonaldTrump and just let him know, I want my $10,000 economic injury disaster loan grant. That's all you need to know, ladies and gentlemen, because remember, the President of the United States, lawmakers, every other government official, they work for you, ladies and gentlemen. Those are your funds that you contributed. So now it's time to break the glass. You've heard about numerous deteriorating economic conditions. You see how according on Yelp, over 163,000 businesses have closed their doors. 60% have shuttered their doors permanently. They will not come back. It represents hundreds of thousands to millions of jobs, employees, people, the American people who cannot make ends meet, whose landlords are evicting them to telling them to move out when they are exercising their rental moratoriums. And this bill calls for $25 billion in rental assistance, ladies and gentlemen. So it is ideal. It is meeting everybody in the middle. So go ahead and tweet the United States President out at twitter.com/RealDonaldTrump and let Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, know. You can reach her at speaker.gov, ladies and gentlemen. Speaker.gov, you go ahead and reach out to her and let her know that she has to come to the table and package S.4227 or the funding for the full SBA disbursement of the $10,000 economic injury disaster loan grant for all legitimate small business applicants, ladies and gentlemen. It's not your fault that the Small Business Administration dropped the ball and dispersed thousands of fraudulent economic injury disaster loans and grants worth hundreds of millions of dollars, now potentially billions of dollars. That's not because of you. You run your legitimate small business and you provide legitimate services to the American people who constitute 70% of GDP. So demand your second and third rounds of stimulus. Demand your enhanced unemployment insurance payments. $600 a week. They're doing it at $450 for the first 8 weeks, $600 a week, not exceeding 100% of wage replacement. Demand it, ladies and gentlemen, and let them know that's your money, that's the monetary ammunition you need to save your families, feed your families, save your businesses, keep your employees on payroll so they can do the same, keep everybody healthy and productive to make the contribution to this country's economy to save this country. Let me know what you think. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Watch this video right here for more economic injury disaster loan grant and stimulus coverage. Click the like button if you like the video. Click the subscribe button to stay on top of my findings. As you can clearly see, we mobilize like no one else will and ensure that the economic injury disaster loan grant program stays in these people's mouths and proposals and ink it into law to mandate that the Small Business Administration disperses the full $10,000 economic injury disaster loan grant to all legitimate small business applicants, ladies and gentlemen. May God bless you. May God bless the United States of America and everybody else on this planet. Talk soon.